Hey friends, what's up? How's it going? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Today I got for you guys 10 of my newest fragrance pickups. Because of course I'm buying stuff all the time, and today I'm sharing with you guys 10 different fragrances that I had to pick up for a bunch of different reasons. Some of these worked out really well, so you want to hear about those, and some of them not so well. You should probably hear about those too. So a really good mix here, actually. Some of these are cheaper, some of these are pricier, some are designers, some are niche, some are clones, just everything. All of these will be linked in the description below. Let's get it kicked off. The first thing I'm going to talk to you about is this one right here. This is called Gladiator Le King Elixir. This is from Yasmin. And what could that be? Gladiator Le King Elixir. Yeah, the bottle may not tell you too much, but that name does. So this is supposed to be a clone of Le Male Elixir from Jean-Paul Gaultier. Get it? Gaultier, Gladiator, Le King, Le Male Elixir. So this one you'll be able to find at Triple Traders, and I do have a code for 10% off that website, which is here, along with a lot of other codes that you can use at different websites to save yourself some money. So anytime you shop at those sites, use those codes, save yourself some cheddar. So as I said, Le Male Elixir right here, even though the bottle is just kind of a standard, rectangular shape here. And when mine arrived, on the corners, there are a couple of little pieces knocked out of the bottle, so like little chips in the glass there. And then the cap, really lightweight, has a little crystal on top there, because clone fragrances, you gotta throw a crystal on there. So how does this one stack up? Because of course, I love Le Male Elixir. I think this stuff is fantastic. One of the best designer releases in years. It's right up there in that upper echelon. This one has, to me, definitely more of like a powdery, floral kind of aspect to it, especially off the top. Off a strip, this is a little bit closer to the OG off the top. Off skin, it's really noticeable that this is not Le Male Elixir. As it dries down, it gets a little bit closer to the OG. So it does have that going for it, whereas it dries, it starts to smell nicer, closer, more well put together, but it doesn't quite nail it for me. And this one does get closer, as I said, as it dries down, but it's maybe not quite where I was hoping it was gonna be. Let's go to something a little more positive with this thing right here. Scalpers Boxing Club. I got this one from Joma Shop, real cheap. I feel like it was in the 20s, in the low to mid 20s. And it took a while to get here, which is why I don't remember exactly how much it was, because it was one of those deals where on their website it says ships in, 2 to 3 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks, something like that. And so I placed the order and everything else came in, and then eventually this came in, but it took a while. That being said, presentation looks pretty good for a cheapie. I like it. It has kind of a poison bottle look to it, a potion bottle, obvious with the skull and crossbones, what's going on there. So yeah, really nice looking presentation. The cap is pretty cool too. Has a little hole right there in the middle, so you can see the atomizer through there. A little skull and crossbones on top of the atomizer as well. And this one is very reminiscent of a hyped fragrance from the past. It smells quite similar to CH Men from Carolina Herrera, and that fragrance still smells great. It still works, and that one smells great also. Again, when you consider the price point here, it doesn't cost much, super versatile. Really versatile. You could wear this year round, I feel like, daytime or nighttime, either one. It has cardamom in there, bergamot, iris, tonka, some of the notes here. Also violet, pretty decent amount. And that's one of the notes that's gonna kind of bring that whole vibe in here, that whole CH Men feeling. I think for a cheapie, this stuff is really well done, smells good right from the rip. And like I said, really nice versatility with this one too. Let's see what to go with next. Let's talk about this one from Fragrance World, Tobacco Myth. So I bought this one from Fragrance Buy. The reason I bought it is because it is just the most obvious clone ever of mystery tobacco from Carolina Herrera, actually, but the very expensive, exquisite, exclusive, private signature fragrances from Carolina Herrera, which are really, really good. And actually, I think they're the confidential collection, so it wasn't even any of the things I said. And mystery tobacco smells awesome. Like, that stuff absolutely slaps. It's fantastic. And Tobacco Myth, I mean, look at the bottle, right? Look at mystery tobacco, look at this. It's the same. But yeah, that fragrance, amazing. I love mystery tobacco. Tobacco Myth absolutely nails it. In case you're unaware of how mystery tobacco comes across, it smells a little bit like red tobacco from Mancera or even Carlisle from Parfums de Marly, so it's in that style. I think that it's smoother than red tobacco, much smoother. It's not as aggressive with that spice off the top. It's easier to wear, classier. So it has so much going for it, but it's expensive. It's pricey, man. That Herrera is gonna cost you some money. And this is just mystery tobacco for way less. Down to the presentation. So Tobacco Myth, awesome. All right, let's go with a buy that did not work out quite as well. Oh, Torino 23. So I did a video a while back with some releases that were dropped on Fragrance Buy, where they had like some new stuff that they were dropping for a really good price. This was one of the things. And I said in that video, I was like, I'm gonna scoop this up. I did, and it's not that I hate it, but I will say my wife does. She smelled a lot of fragrances at this point in her life. God bless her. It's not super often that she'll have a reaction that's like viscerally negative, but she did with this one, so okay. Now, Torino 21 is one of my favorite spring and summertime fragrances. That stuff is fantastic. Like, that is a 10 out of 10 and has nothing to do with this. Now, you look at the note breakdown, doesn't look too bad. Okay, I'm gonna hit you with some of those notes. Bergamot, cardamom, neroli, cashmere, musk, amber. Then it also has tuberose, jasmine, ylang-ylang, and rose. And with this being a Torino fragrance from Xerjoff, you would think, oh, gotta be very fresh, uplifting, bright, you know? It's something that's going to be perfect for spring and summer. Then you spray that on and you go, oh, okay. It's kind of heavy, has a little bit of a grandma soap vibe going on, a little bit of a throwback feel to it as well, you know, a little bit of like a classic fragrance vibe. So yeah, you could say it's unisex, maybe leaning a little bit feminine, but when you put all these aspects together, the way the florals come across and the bit of heaviness that it has, and like I said, that kind of soapy vibe to it, it does not come across like a super pleasant spring and summertime scent that you just want to layer on. Oh, let's go next with this random one that I picked up. Ted Lapidus Sensual Hero, which is part of the Stories by Lapidus line. Actually, the bottle looks a little bit similar to that one. And these are also super cheap. So this is one of those fragrances where I was buying some stuff from a Joma shop and I saw this on there and I was like, ah, heck with it, I'll throw it in there. So price-wise, 17 bucks. That's what you're gonna be looking at here for this one. It's an eau de toilette. The performance is okay, it's not amazing, but it'll get the job done because it's a spring, summertime fragrance that you're gonna wear just as kind of like a mood lifter. You know, it's that type of scent that's pretty easy to wear, pretty easy to wrap your head around. It doesn't project like a monster, but it'll leave a nice little scent cloud around you. Note breakdown, super simple. Caipirinha, vetiver, and nutmeg. So keeping it really simplified, simplistic. It's got a little boozy touch, bit of a lime freshness to it, a little bite to it. Doesn't smell the same, but kind of like in that same wheelhouse as Guerlain Homme Le Boisé. So if you like that one, you may enjoy this one with the understanding that the quality that's in here is not the same as what's in the Guerlain, but it is a really nice scent actually. The first time I wore it, I thought, it's not that great. Then I came back to it and sprayed it on one day before I headed out, and I was like, oh, it's actually pretty good. And now I don't mind it at all. Let's go from there to this, Nazi Silver. And this one is from Fragrance World. Technically, it's like one of their offshoots, I believe, but still. The presentation on this is very bare bones, simplistic looking as far as the bottle goes. You know, it's got one of those caps that weighs nothing, but the bottle's real heavy. Got a little FW up on top of the atomizer there. And this is a clone, Boss Bottled Intense. This is actually really, really good. One of my favorite things, of course, taking a fragrance that's been discontinued, that was a good one, and bringing it back to life. And at a pretty good price point too. I think you can usually find this around 35 bucks. It wouldn't surprise me if that creeps down a little bit as time goes on. Good performance, smells fantastic. Really gonna get you that Boss Bottled Intense vibe. So that rich, spicy apple, some people would call it an apple pie feeling that Boss Bottled Intense has, this has it as well. Of course, Boss Bottled Intense was really the Boss Bottled to own for a while there. That was the one everybody wanted, everybody talked about it, and then, like I said, discontinued. So this stuff, a great replacement. So it's more positive than negative, the things that I've been buying. Although, you know, when you blind buy stuff, it's never a 100% hit rate. Next up, let's talk about this. Zadig and Voltaire. This is really him. That's right, this is really him. The other ones that said this is him, those were not him. This is really him. So there are positives and negatives about this one. Although I think the main negative will probably be solved in time. And that main negative is that the price compared to what you can get for what this is going for currently is not super attractive. As of this video, from Joma's shop, 100 mil of this, about 85 bucks. For 85 bucks, you can get a lot of fragrance. You can get a lot of different types. You can get like a Mancera for that price point. So yeah, that's kind of like, I don't know if it's really worth that, you know? But if time goes on and that price drops down, it becomes more attractive at that point, right? Fragrance itself, really wearable, has amberwood in there, touch of citrus off the top, not a whole heck of a lot. Then you have Palo Santo, orange blossom, and metallic notes as the other notes in the fragrance. And I guess the metallic notes make sense when you look at the presentation style here, right? The coloration and everything. So this one is an interesting one. It's pretty clean, but at the same time, it's got a nice woodiness to it and kind of a smoky aspect as well. So it's that type of fragrance that has kind of a mix of ideas going on. On the one side, you have these fresher notes, these fresher ideas, and then on the other side, darker notes, richer notes, and they kind of just meld together there right away. Performance is pretty good. You know, it's not insane, but it's not bad either. And it could remind you a little bit of This Is Him, Just Rock. It's just such a good name. Although this one is not as sweet as that one is. And I think that this one is better suited for more versatile usage. And this is another one that the first time I tried it, I was kind of iffy on it, and then revisited the fragrance a few times. Now I like it a lot more. Well, let's go with this next, Theine Cordes. And this is interesting in a way because, you know, I talked about Torino 23 over here, having kind of like a throwback feel to it, but, you know, it didn't work for me. Cordes also has a throwback feel to it, but it works better for me. Yeah, this one has like a classic cologne aspect to it, but then it has a richness and a sweetness to it, kind of a warmth that really helps fill everything out in a way that comes across cohesive and wearable to me. Definitely is going to appeal more to guys middle-aged and older. I think that's a given, but whereas Torino 23 has some parts of it that just kind of wallop me in a way where I go, ugh, you know, it's kind of rough, you know, a little piece sticking out here or there, a little harshness to it. Cordes, I feel, is more elegant, a little more grown up in a way. But to be fair, it is a niche fragrance, right? So niche fragrance used at niche times, or, you know, less frequently makes sense. So that is Cordes. Really enjoyed that one. But right now as it's heating up, not something I'm gonna be reaching for until it starts to cool back down. Then I got this one, Like Father, Like Son. And this one is another one that I just kind of tossed into my cart because it was pretty affordable. And also because I loved the presentation. This is legitimately one of those times where I just went, oh, that looks cool, I'll buy it. And this one is from El Ganso. I think that it was in that 20 range, you know, something like that. Very affordable, as I said. It has a nice wooden cap, really dig that. And the fragrance itself is just really easy going, really wearable. It's not super duper strong or anything like that. It's a citrus fragrance, citrus forward. So it has ginger, grapefruit, and lemon off the top. And it's got like an interesting kind of feel when you first spray it on. because I've actually worn this a number of times already. Because it doesn't last a super long time. You know, it's fine for the type of scent it is, I don't mind, but you know, it's one of those ones you can blast on. Like if you want to, you can go real heavy and, you know, douse yourself with it. Or if you just want a quick pick me up, you can spray, you know, 4 or 5 sprays. Just have like a little boost for a second. Love the presentation. I like the name. I like the little wooden cap on there. I like the way it smells. I don't mind at all that the presentation isn't huge. Yeah, this is pretty cool. It's a really nice daily citrus scent. Sometimes I like to have those, you know. And last up, we got this one, Luciano Magnitude, another Louis Vuitton clone. And this one is a clone of L'Immensité. About, I think 35 bucks is what it was from Fragrance By. They've got a few different Lucianos there. They really do a good job cloning Louis Vuittons. So this one leans a little bit more into that like ambery aspect. You get the ginger off the top, you get that freshness, that bit of spice, a little touch of citrus in there. Some of the other ones, some of the other Louis Vuitton fragrances and clones have more of that like citrus off the top, which can really grab people's attention. So there's one they have called Coastal Breeze, and that one is Pacific Chill clone. And that one, like when you spray it on, you just get blasted with this kind of tropical sweet mixed drink vibe, and it smells great. And so I could see a lot of people, if they had, you know, those side by side, they would smell that one and be like, wow, you know, because it's really in your face when you first spray it on. This one, when you spray it on, is a little more reserved. You know, it comes across very well. You know, it's well put together. And like I said, it's got that nice balance of like fresh spice, a little sweetness, citrus, all that going on, amber underneath. Comes across really, really, really well. Like it smells great, but it doesn't like wallop you the same way the other does. So I could see some people, you know, smelling those two side by side, potentially just, you know, grabbing those from the brand or whatever to do comparison. But I could see people doing that and going, oh, this one is just way more attention grabbing. So I could see this one running into that issue. But outside of that, smells good from open to dry down, really well done. And there we go. There's 10 of my more recent pickups. So yeah, you can see some of the random stuff that I've been buying outside of, you know, the new releases that come out, the new designers and stuff like that. I want to thank you guys for hanging with me. Let me know some of the stuff that you have been picking up yourself. Stay safe out there. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later. So this is another Louis Vuitton. Oh! Oh, let me redo that, I guess. I completely missed it. What a dope.